Poem framework basically is a marketing methodology which are basically used by digital marketing experts, and the main aspects of using this thing is to formulate the social media marketing strategy and how it stands in case for paid, owned, and earned media. We all know that poem stands for in that poem, P stands for paid, O stands for owned, and E stands for earned, and M stands for media. So in that case, we see how this approach can be used to promote a product or services. And by looking at the various aspects, most of the marketers thinks that it is a right mix of media channels that can attract more customers, and it can have a very deepen and strengthen relationship with the existing customers, as well as to push the business towards the ultimate goal of growth and success. We always know that most of the digital marketers use the poem model to develop their basic framework, which helps them to implement the digital marketing strategies. And along with that, these frameworks help the companies to improve their marketing strategies as well as to achieve the goals and targets. And majorly, it involves something like listing and selecting channels, which always helps them to roll out with suitable marketing communications. And it tries to address the major issues in the context of what it needs to make the plan pretty much successful. And when we look at the first P, that is called as the paid media, we always try to include all the sponsored advertising of a company through different channels like YouTube, search engines, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and the websites which are mainly created by the companies. And this first element of this framework, which is the most common type of marketing channels, and it requires payment which falls under the category of paid media. We all know that paid media is typically is one of the most quickest and most efficient and easiest forms to track the direct return on investments. But the control of paid media is generally in the hands of the service providers. At the same time, it is often considered as the least credible resource for communicating to your target customers, where the companies run their campaign through something like the Google AdWords, or the company is going to appoint their own campaign managers by paying money either through pay per click or through other sources. We always think that advertising products or services on the paid media channels such as Google Ads and Facebook Ads can always help to grow your business as well as your audience base. And it always helps to build a very sizable customer base when we compare in terms of the other form of medias. And paid media always covers a lot of media vehicles and platforms, including the magazines, the television commercials, radio announcements, pay per click advertising, search engine marketing, and paid ads on the Instagram or even on the Facebook, which usually plays a very important role in terms of strategizing their campaigns. And later on, let us focus our attention towards something like the owned media. Here, the owned media is the second element in the poem framework, where it majorly tries to refer to any media channel that a brand controls and owns. And one of the most common examples is the websites, the blogs, as well as the newsletters. And in most of the cases, many companies would like to create their own social media pages, their own Instagram and Facebook accounts, as well as in Twitter. And many companies would also like to have something called as the podcast, which are basically used by the companies or the brands. And the search engine optimization also falls under the bracket of owned media in case of digital marketing tools, where this own media always allows you to connect with your current audiences and nurture your long-term relationship. And also, along with that, the success of digital marketing strategy can also be easily measured by seeing at how many people directly access the company's own media and other things. The goal of own media is always to carry the brand as well as the voice and communications, the offerings to the market. We know that own media is relatively more cost effective than the paid media. Another benefit of own media is its versatility and longevity, and it always allows you to maximize the effectiveness in what context your own media can easily gel along with your marketing strategy, keeping that long term objective in mind. For that, if you want to make this own media as one of the successful strategy, means always the website needs to create itself as one of the strongest brand to represent that as an asset of a company which a company owns. And parallelly, the website can also build a very credible and trust among their customers base. And after that, our focus should be on towards the blog post, which usually works like a brand voice. Nowadays we are seeing so many blogs which has been written by so many third parties with respect to endorsing with so many brands, and these brands usually in turn acts as a communication that the brand is trying to establish out there in the market or in the public. We always see that whenever we are considering the own media as an asset, it becomes as one of the important factors of any organization, to what extent they are able to have this sort of customer engagement along with the brand awareness. And these are few things which most of the time the companies would like to focus. And later on, let us shift our attention towards earned media. As the name only suggests that the earned media refers to the exposure as well as the recognition that a brand receives as a result of other people talking about it. And when we start mentioning about the brand or due, it is mainly due to something like the organic or the unpaid media. Here, most of the time, if a people share or mention or review about a brand or a company in their social engagements, that is more sufficient for a company to get a very good publicity. It is like sharing a product which was recently purchased and how well it is able to satisfy their expectations. And that is a one instance where it is like company earning those media exposure only through the platform which was created by their product capability and capacity. And most of the marketers usually try to classify the earned media as inbound marketing aspects or the efforts which usually tries to put into to get constant engagement and recognition, which are a part and parcel of their organic campaigns. And earned media is technically the result of efforts that are majorly put across into the own media, as and media always supports both nurture as well as retention tactics, which is the most evident thing nowadays when we look that as well as a part and parcel of their acquisition activities. And in most of the cases, the word of mouth marketing presses a lot of impact with respect to publicizing or creating more brand awareness or having an excellent viral marketing strategy, which are the major results or examples of earned media. And when we start looking at these things, this always poses as a biggest challenges with respect to how exactly these things are going to get itself benefited. And when we start looking at the different benefits of poem framework is, when we look at the paid media, the brands have larger control over paid media, whereas these brands can use the paid media for better targeting of their customers. And when we looked at own media, it is nothing but own channels can always help the brands to develop a very strong relationship with the customer, as well as it always helps to attract even the newer set of customers. And categorically, when we look at earned media can always ensure highest quality of customers whom always try to visit your websites, and they always helps you to build awareness and the trust among the existing as well as the potential customers, which are the major sources which helps us to create a very good marketing strategies. We're looking at all these things as a main aspects to see how exactly earned media always helps the company to earn through its continuous engagement in different social media platforms. And it can be evaluated or measured based on the number of likes, shares, comments, and replies. And nowadays, even tweets are also getting a lot of momentum in the market, as well as people expressing or reviewing about a product or a services, etc., which always also plays a very prominent role with respect to giving lot of privilege towards earned media.